Good morning. Welcome to Look and See Outdoors. Today, I am once again in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Finally was able to get away, and I'm on number 2 of the trail series that I was planning to do throughout the summer and into the fall, and planning on doing that through hike in October. And this morning, my son and I, oldest son Zane, he's over there somewhere. We broke away and we're here on the Pine Mountain Trail, and we're at Sonka Falls. We're actually on the part of the trail that's called the Wolf Den Loop. It's 6.7 miles. This is a neat area right here. It's been some years since I've been up here. The kids were little. They would get in that and splash around. And got this footbridge. And this stupid graffiti. And you can tell there's like some flash flooding through here. Alright, so we're going to be doing some filming as we're going down through the trail, just talking. Got a different pack with me, one of my favorite packs. Talk about that a little later on as we get on into it. We're about stuck there, about 2 miles into the hike, and we're going to be coming up to the Wolf's Den. And that is a real cool area. Alright, Zane just brought up, and I agree 100%. This little area that we're in, Big Rock Falls, this reminds us a lot of being in North Carolina. And we're only about 30-40 minutes north of Columbus, Georgia. Pine Mountain is a real cool place to come visit. I think the highest point in elevation, I may have said it before in one of my videos, is about 1,300 feet in elevation, which I know that's not high, but to be down this low into below the Piedmont area, and you got this big rock jutting out, it's neat. I like these little footbridges here. They got them tethered so when these flash floods hit, they don't get washed all the way down. It's sad to see people carving them trees and stuff, but this part of the Pine Mountain Trail is the most visited. It's got the heaviest traffic. It's an easy in and out to the Wolf's Den and back. It's 4 miles if you come into the hike and come into the Wolf Den and then back out. But the loop itself is just under 8 miles. So it's an easy trailhead to get to. It's off one of the main roads, and there's a big parking area. So majority of the people that come and visit, this is where they come. But today, right now, Zane and I have the trail to ourselves. We got an early start. Not as early as I wanted, but it's funny, I was kind of battling the laziness and just slippery rock falls. Yeah, this is definitely something I'm gonna need to pay attention in here. We're following the Blue Blazes, and I'm gonna put this camera down. All right, we just had a good little climb out of there, which we're gonna work our way up and then back down. That type of switchback is horrible. People are lazy. Walk the trail. It's amazing. That's not hard at all what we just did. But people will cut the trail right there. And that causes all kind of erosion. More erosion than what's needed. I have a lot of people come down. We're about an hour or so south of Atlanta here. So you get that traffic too. Now we're climbing up. Work on getting my breath. All right, we have made it up out of the little gorge there. We're at Bumblebee Ridge. It's a campsite. It's been here for a while. And good little climb there. This is I'm gonna do a little panorama. Beautiful little area in here. A lot of oaks up on this high ground. And these oaks are pretty much matured. in this old rocky dry soil. That's what we got. And those are little high bush blueberries up through there, all through there. I know when we get up into the Talladega National Forest, you can find a lot of blueberries on those things. I don't see any here. All right, well, we're going to journey on now. We'll be heading back down into the wolf's den. We have made it to the wolf's den. This is Cascade Falls. This is a nice little watering hole. And right there is the wolf's den. What they call the wolf's den. I've never seen wolves in here. There's a book I want to get. I cannot remember the name of it. I got it written down, but it's about the area of the southeast here in Georgia, and I believe parts of Alabama during the 18th century. And there were accounts of all the buffalo, the elk, and I believe the red wolf that just inhabited all these woods and plains and savannas. But the wolves are gone, the buffalo's gone, but in North Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, they've reestablished a very healthy herd of elk. You can hunt them now. We're going to do a little bit of exploring right here. We're taking this little break. We're just a bump over 2 miles. So we got just a little over 4 miles left of our hike. But we're going to go up here and look around the wolf's den. It has been a long time. We have actually bouldered this little rock face. That's been years ago, back in the 90s, in the 1900s. It's like a rock house. They're telling kinds of creatures live here. But let's scope it out. When we leave out of here, I'll stop up at the top of this and be able to look down into this kind of a semi-box canyon. I guess if you had to shelter in here, but I almost believe the water would come and drip in. It don't look too dry for the most part. You can get back in there, it does. So here we are on the wolf's den. This is the wolf den. Y'all have heard me talk about the wolf's den, and here we are. All right, Zane and I eased over towards this little rock basin. We found a little memorial, bronze memorial in memory of Michael Preston Brown, June 9th, 1973, August 27, 1992. Charter member of TAPS, T-A-P-S. I'm not sure what that is. But when I got over here, I smelt the muskiness of a snake. I'd never spotted the snake, but Zane did spot snake skin right there. You can see it in the water. But I've been looking, and it's gone away, but snakes will let off this odor. It's a real distinctive odor when you're getting too close. One of their defensive mechanisms. The dude was 19 when he passed. Wonder what the story is there. Have to look that up. All right, this little feature here. I say little. It's not little. It's massive. Ferny. Big loblolly pine. Check this out. This is a massive pine tree. Definitely a virgin wood tree here. It's codominant. The two twin tops. Zane, get up against it, man. Kind of give some scale. So this thing is massive. Can't even, the canopy's in. And oh, here we go. There you can see up in there. So cool to see that tree. It's been a few years since I've seen it. All this hiking and we come in here and there's somebody back in here in a backhoe. Things you see while hiking. I don't know. He's way back in here. Had to come in on that horse trail. There's private property all up in here too. He ain't doing nothing now, he stopped. Dude's working on the creek there, I guess. Working on some areas that have gotten backed up. There's some little, I was gonna show you that area, but he's there working, so I'm not just gonna film somebody that I don't know. But they've got these little spillover dam cement walls. There used to be fish hatcheries, but I think that's on the other part of the Pine Mountain Trail where those fish hatcheries were back in the mid-1900s. And there's still, I think, a fish hatchery in Warm Springs. I'll have to go there sometime. Zane, you remember going to that fish hatchery? Man, Zane's with me today, like I said, and he turns 15. Then when he was up here, he was, how old were you? Man, last time we were up here, 7? 7, 8, you don't remember. So now we're working our way out of this bottom. We're gonna be coming up. I think the trail takes a left here. Trail's fixing to open up more. We're gonna be more in these ridges. Yeah. We're gonna climb up out of here in just a little while. Then we're gonna take us a break. Here's one of the new campsites. This chainsaw campsite. I think they put 3 or 4 new campsites along the trail. So I think today before we leave, I'm gonna try to buy me an updated map. I have one in my pocket, but it's a 2000 and something 12 version, and I believe they have new maps out. I think a Bigfoot's throwing stuff at me. All right, Zane and I have made it beyond the halfway point of our hike. Got just a little over 3 miles left. We're going to take us a break here. We found us some nice rocks to sit on. Look the best we could, make sure there's no snakes. Sitting here looking at the map. I think we're on what is called Hogback Mountain. A little easier hiking here. So I could take a nap. Got a little thing I want to do. I'm going to discuss it with Zane first though. Quick look at my pack. This is what I believe is a medic pack actually. But I acquired this pack some years ago and I painted it. It's the old ACU, I believe, digital camo, which is not a very good camo to me. But I doctored it up with some paint, made it look better. It's a good little pack. It's comfortable too. I've got enough in it to spend the night in the woods. Pretty comfortable. It won't be Motel 6 comfortable, but it'll be comfortable enough. So, going to get into a snack time. Since we have jack links with us, I guess we're going to try to mess with some Sasquatches here in a little while. All right, come up with a little idea. A tradition that I've done for a long time is bring a trail beer along with me on most of my hikes. And today I brought one, and this is it. And if anyone can guess the brand of trail beer that I have with me today, we're going to give away a knife. Zane, pull your little side knife out. It's a Mora style. Might not be this exact color, but it's going to be like that kind of a classic look. I can't remember what the name of that is, but we're going to do a knife giveaway, if you can guess. The trail beer that I have with me today. That we're going to sit here. I'm going to sit here, not we. That was a slip. I'm going to sit here. I condoning to my son to be drinking. So I'm going to sit here and enjoy this and then finish out this hike and have some snacks before we do so. There's my trail beer. It's a secret. A little bit of giveaway maybe there around the top. Don't let some of it fool you, because I've got my 1970s Yeti cover on it to keep it nice and cold. Good old aluminum foil. So I think that'll be a fun little giveaway. And also what you'll need to do is comment in the comment section what trail beer, what the name of it is, what brand. And whoever gets it right, as long as you're of legal age and you don't live somewhere where you can't have a knife, we'll get together through email and get your address and I'll mail it to you free of charge. Even pay shipping. I'm not going to be one of those saying I'm going to give something away and then charge you shipping and handling, because that's not giving it away. That's still charging you. So anyway, y'all guess in the comments, what is the trail beer? Whoever gets it right, you get a free knife. Boy, Snickers really satisfies. Kind of briefly talk about the trail beer. The trail beer is a tradition that we started some years ago. A group of us, we used to go hiking a lot more regular than what we do these days. And one of the guys in our group, he was former military. And he had found some information. I think it was the British Army, if I'm remembering correctly. And the officers would have their kit, and when they would be marching, they would disperse things among the men that would be breakable and that they would carry in their kits. And the idea was, as they carried it on their marches, or their rucks, or whatever you want to call it, that they would be more careful with their kit. So we started carrying the trail beers, and we would get the glass bottles. And the glass bottles we'd put in our packs. And as we're hiking along, we'd get to a halfway point, or sometimes to the end, when we would share our, we'd sit down, fellowship, and have a beer. So that's where that tradition came from. And it's something that I still do from time to time, even though it's just me and my son. But it's me here enjoying the trail beer. He's got a Gatorade, I believe, right? Huh? You got Gatorade and water? Huh? Oh, he finished it. Are you ready to go now? Well, there's ants all over the place. We've gotten up on this ridge, and this is smooth, flat, a little bit of an incline, like walking on the boulevard on this high and dry ridge. A lot of oaks, chestnut oaks. We have been passing hearts of these old pine trees. See, like those stumps there? That is fat lighter, but we have been finding whole skeletons, probably 30, 40 feet long, and just massive amounts of fat lighter that would last you a lifetime, pretty much. All types of fire-making material in here. But when you're in Pine Mountain, when you're in the state park, you have to make sure you're within the area of where you can safely have a fire. They do allow it. I think when it gets a little too dry, they do fire bans, which, that makes sense. Don't want a raging wildfire up through here. I think this right here I'm coming up on, look at this. Fat lighter. That looks like an old heartwood front. Man, that is a ton of fat lighter. All up on this ridge. All kinds of gains. Something interesting to talk about for a minute about the blueberry patches. Any of you ever check out the Missing 411 videos, podcasts that are out there? David Paldies, if I'm saying his last name right, that was one of the things that fit into the equation where people disappeared with berry patches. So every time, and if you haven't checked out the 411, I highly advise it. There's some interesting stories about our national parks where thousands of people disappear every year within the United States boundaries and are never seen again. Just completely vanish without a trace. It's weird. Some of them now have been recovered, but there are some very interesting and weird stories to the disappearances. Boulder fields and berry patches. And he talks about the clusters of the state parks and national parks and these national forests, I guess you call them, where these people just suddenly they'll be out hiking and gone without a trace. All right, well, we've made it to our first road crossing. And then what we'll do here, we'll cross over and we will get on to the White Candle Loop Trail, I believe it is. Crossing over, we've noticed that the cicadas are just about gone. I've only seen a few of them. And we don't hear them like we were hearing them. So I think those things are just about panned out. So we cross there, getting back into the woods here. And that little pecker club. Little gents making dents. Gotta get me one of them shirts. That's pretty cool. Alright, one of my friends talks about woodpecker noises. And we're hearing it right now. Off in the distance. And it's that, huh? Oh, we just seen a deer running down. Did it look like it had a velvet on its head? So, we've discussed things about Bigfoot, and there's that noise there. The woodpecker off in the distance. And it was asked to me, how many times have you seen a woodpecker do that? I got to thinking, I've seen woodpeckers a lot, and I've seen them pecking. So the question was, is that a woodpecker, or is that a Bigfoot creature? A lot of crazy and interesting conversations that we can get into when we're out here in the woods. I know on another loop off of this loop, you come through this pine thicket and there's a lot of trees bent over. Now, my experience growing up, having some of our cold winters and we have ice storms, it bends those trees over. I don't know if that's picking up the woodpecker noise. But there are people who claim that when you see those trees bent over or broken over, that is signs of a Bigfoot in the area. So it's interesting, some of the things that you come across out here. Also along this trail in certain areas, and I'm not sure what next month, the month of June, where I'm going to pick to hike. I may pick a different location entirely different than Pine Mountain Trail. There are some trees, what they call tree markers. Marker trees that the Indians did to mark direction to water, to salt licks, or just directions north, south, east, west along their routes. So a lot of interesting things out here. That's that noise. Not sure if it's picking up on this camera. We're within a mile of finishing this trail up. And we'll have the Wolf Den Loop 6.7 completed. All right, well, we made it back to the intersection. We're back on the Pine Mountain Trail. That's where we went this morning. We are almost back to the TV tower where the truck is parked here at the trailhead. This loop, the Wolf's Den loop, is 6.7 miles in length. It's nice this morning, still pretty cool. Started hearing those cicadas a little bit as it started warming up. And we ran into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people while we were taking our break. And we've seen 1 deer and a handful of squirrels. So we're about almost to the truck now. And there's the TV tower. Man, that thing is tall. Here's the kiosk that we're on the eastern end of the Pine Mountain Trail. Here's a little memorial for Mr. Neil Wickham. He really did a lot in developing this trail system. He had one cool outdoor store too. Wickham's Outdoors, that used to be in Columbus, Georgia. And Mr. Wickham was an outstanding man. I always enjoyed being around him. All right, well, we made it back to the truck and we are heading across the ridge to the store and office, about 7 miles from it. Doing that hike there in the warmer weather really will expose things for you about hiking. And asking Zane about wanting to do that through hike. I guess we were discussing that's about a quarter of the through hike. So that's going to be a good challenge. Got to keep on pushing and getting in shape. And in October, 23 miles is not really that much if you think about it, but then again, all right, well, we are going to end the video here today. We made it to the state park office. This is the back side of it, old stone building, and then behind me is the magnificent overlook here. This is a nice one. Dowdle's Knob is a better overlook. So we're going to close this up. We did 6.7 miles. My time was about 4 hours, so we did pretty good. You still up for it, Zane, to do the Pine Mountain through hike challenge?
Yeah.
Got to figure out where we're going to hike next month. Get that figured out, and the month of June will be here. Shoot, what Saturday will be the 1st of June. And be a whole nother time to do a whole nother hike. Alright guys, y'all hit that like button. Please leave a comment. Y'all tell me what that trail beer was. Whoever gets it right, you're going to get a free knife. Y'all take care. We'll see you.